8 simple things that can improve your intuition. My name is Eileen. I'm a soul empowerment coach, I'm a healer, and a spiritual business strategist. And today I'm going to be talking about 8 things, very simple things that you can do that will start to increase those intuitive muscles and help you get more confident in using your intuition, and becoming what we call a clearer channel. So one of the most important things about being an intuitive, and we all have the ability to be intuitive, and being intuitive can come through in different ways for us all, okay? But the reality is it's basically us picking up certain information, and it's like inner guidance, and it can come, as I said, in different ways. But when we have maybe a very busy mind, a very distracted mind, a chaotic mind, we can block the information coming through. Okay, so one of the first things that can really support a lot of people is learning how to be still. And there's many different ways to do that. One of the main ways that I encourage people to do is learn more traditional types of meditation. And there's a reason why. A lot of traditional types of meditation, and even there's some modern types of meditation that are based on, like, maybe quantum techniques that are based on traditional meditation. And these give us a certain amount of discipline. They teach us to have a certain level of discipline and focus, and be able to let go of distracting thoughts. And it's what I mean is, when you're in meditation, you are in a way being a witness to your thoughts, but you're not getting as hooked into narratives, stories of your mind, which can take you off in all sorts of directions, get you in all sorts of trouble, and believing things that are not true. Intuition tends to come through often as a kind of a very quick, fast sort of, it can come through as annoying, or, there's different ways, but it tends to be something that comes so quickly and clearly that it's not gets so much a story attached to what our mind does. So that's why you want to be able to differentiate it. And a more calm mind is able to be a witness and become more objective. Because sometimes we get intuitive nudges that we sometimes maybe don't want it to be right, or because it goes against what we already have a narrative on. So we have to be able to be objective. Okay. Now, another one, which I have to be honest, even though I would say I'm very intuitive, which I have struggled with, is getting grounded and centered. And this happens to a lot of people who are highly empathic, highly sensitive, even healers who are working with a lot with energy, doing a lot of different types of energy work. And there can be all different reasons why someone struggles with being grounded. And a lot of the common things are physical trauma in the body, emotional trauma, all these sort of things that can want us to escape. But there can be other kind of things that sometimes people don't think about that can increase that sense of being ungrounded and uncentered. And the more that you are grounded and centered, you're fully in your body, you're getting the information through your nervous system or through your antenna in a more softer way. It can be quite harsher when you're not fully in your body and feel a bit chaotic. And that's why people then sometimes mistrust information, or can't decipher or kind of identify if it's an intuitive nudge or if it's just something else they're picking up. Okay. Cleansing your energy. There's all different ways to do that, and there's different levels to do that. Cleansing your energy every day, there are simple ways of doing that. For example, just imagining you're in a beautiful rainbow shower of white or golden light and cleansing through your energy field, and was cleansing down through your chakras and around your body can help. If you do have, sometimes people can have all sorts of things going on in their energy field and they maybe need a little bit more help. But the more that we can keep our energy clear, again, particularly if you're empathic and highly sensitive, again, we can be picking up other people's energy and stuff. And it's almost like a barrier to the information. So it's like, particularly if you're empathic, empaths often take on and absorb the energy of other people, particularly negative energy or pain and things like that, and trauma. So if you're highly empathic, particularly, you know, everyone has to, you know, should cleanse their energy and keep their energy clear. But it's so important for, you know, these things to do it often a lot more, because you tend to be absorb a lot more and tend to be aware of a lot more. And if you think about it, it's just like it can get really noisy, particularly if you tend to be able to sense and feel things that most people don't. It can get a bit like, you know, very overwhelming. So it's really important to cleanse your energy, keep your energy robust. Now, obviously, sometimes, you know, just sometimes we're unfortunate, we can have injuries and all sorts of things. I know for me, I had a lot of injury down one side of my body, a lot of trauma. And sometimes when we know what areas are a wee bit, well, you know, not built up as strong, we're still working on getting that. We know there's certain areas where we are a wee bit more prone. So it's important that we do that. Another way to cleanse your energy and to make your energy more robust, some essential oils can be helpful. And I talk about some of that more in my Empath's Essential Toolkit. Now, another one that a lot of people don't talk about, but I think is really, really important. And it's one of the things that I think can be a key factor in why some people are really far more clear and confident in their channel and other people. And that is having like a more clean body, free from its toxins as much as possible. I know for me, for a variety of reasons, particularly health reasons, I've had to have quite a clean life and tend to have very little toxins in my life, things from everything I eat to even what I put on my skin, right? And one of the things also for a long, long time, for decades, is that I have avoided fluoride. Now, fluoride is known to cause calcification and the pineal gland. And, you know, and one of the things that we know that there's a lot of things that are toxic out there that are pushed that actually do block us in our intuition. And also, like, you know, your third eye and things like that, coffee is known to block people's ability to see clearly, right? So when we start eliminating a lot of stimulants and things like heavy metals and things like that, people often feel they are a clearer channel. Now, unfortunately, in the modern world, a lot of us carry a lot of toxins. And what I would suggest, if you're getting help in this area, make sure that you do get advice and, you know, from the right people, because there's a lot of information out there, general information. A lot of therapists, I'm not specialists in this sometimes, and healers can recommend products, but for a lot of reasons, sometimes they're not right for everyone. So again, this is where you have to use your discernment, your intuition, and not be pushed into taking products that you're unsure about or it doesn't feel right. So that's helping you use your discernment muscles, your intuition in that area. Now, another thing that you can do that is simple that can really help improve your intuition is get more creative. When we're in a state of flow and a state of creativity, we're just in a state of being, but it's a high vibration. So if you think about it, you're just doing something that you love doing, you are not thinking about, you're not getting attachment to information coming through, right? You're being like if you think about an artist, when an artist is in a form, these people that seem to channel and do the most beautiful things, and that can be as a musician, a writer, a creative, people that write or create inspiring things. They're being a channel, right? They're allowing the creative flow. And the more that we do that, right, and you get into that way of being, instead of getting into the logical brain, you're into the creative brain. The creative brain basically encourages an intuition. So the more that you get creative in your life, and you've encouraged from a young age to be creative, you tend to open that channel. I'm very lucky from a young age. I was encouraged to be creative, and I went down a lot of creative paths very early on, as a young person when I left school. Now, another important thing about being, improving your intuition is for you to become detached from the outcome. If you're really going to be open to your intuition and be guided off, that intuition tends to be mostly positive and gives us signs. But sometimes it can give us nudges of things that are not great, or things that maybe we don't want to, would rather think, oh no, I really wanted to do that, or the ego gets in the way. So again, that's why meditation and that can help us, because we all are, we have a lot of drive from our ego, and there's a lot of things that we think the ego thinks it's right, or the ego wants it to be right. And particularly if you're getting intuitive nudges to do something different than what you planned, the mental mind or your head wanted to do or wanted to believe, right? And this is why I mentioned in a video recently, you've got to be able to identify the difference between a trigger, something that triggers you, and it's an intuitive nudge. An intuitive nudge guides you in the right direction. A trigger is a wound of something that, because you're wounded by, and that can often be situations or what I would call archetype patterns, or people that trigger you, and maybe you don't like somebody, or you don't like someone's behavior because it reminds you of something. It's related to a wounding. Well, that is not your intuition. So this is why it's so important to become detached from when you're just being triggered. And what I mean is a strong emotional reaction. Right. I always find when it's my intuition, even though there can be something physically happening in the body, it's not maybe after it, if I find something out and I can realise something there that can be emotional, but it doesn't seem as quick. It tends to feel more natural, or comes through the physical body completely different than what a trigger would. Okay. And last one is practice, practice, practice. I know for me, I have naturally used my intuitive muscles from a very, very young age. Now, I'm 55, I'll be 56, in the summer. So I have been practicing and using my intuition for a very long time. And if you're someone that tends not to feel as confident in your intuition, or you've maybe had a situation recently where you feel as if your intuition is off kilter. I know for me, particularly last year and even at the beginning of this year, I had so many challenges around sleep, and I had a neck injury and some things that were making my sleep just not good quality. And these are things that can sometimes cause us foggy brain, can impact our nervous system, can do all sorts of things. And so I just wasn't feeling I tend to be someone that feels guided every day, and it just was, things were feeling off. And it's reminding yourself that sometimes, yes, there's things can, be causing us to have that misalignment. But it's about getting back in, it's almost like getting back on the horse and practice and getting back to basics. Sometimes we forget basics. And one of the things that I really believe is really, really important, that you shouldn't be, giving advice and other people and telling them intuitive messages and giving them, saying that these certain things are true or whatever, and this is whatever. If you've not mastered your own intuition, And you know, I've had a lot of lessons that way. I've given me advice where it was very clear that they had very poor intuition in most areas of life. And this is really important. Intuition is first of all for you. It's not for your clients. You know, your students and friends first. It's first of all, your intuitive nudges are for you first and foremost, particularly at the moment when we are at a critical point in society where we have to learn discernment. And it also empowers other people to become more intuitive. And sometimes it's easy when we have strong insights, unless a client is asking us for some support or certain things, and you always, you know, you want to support them in some ways, and you really have mastered it, and you know that you're quite accurate. You know, you still want to make sure that when you present it to someone else, that you do not push it into them, that you don't force it onto them, and you allow them to discern and ask them if it fits, if it feels right. Because sometimes I see this a lot, and we can do this sometimes, even sometimes we're not completely aware of what we're doing, is that we're pushing or what we think is an important message onto someone. And sometimes it can be a forceful injury because we're very confident, we're strong in it. Where it's important that now more than ever that people learn to be more intuitive themselves and they harness those muscles. If this is an area you want to explore more, I do have some courses and I do offer one-to-one support. I have at the moment a very special offer on my Empath Essential Toolkit. And I've got that actually open for Valentine's, but I might keep it open for just a little bit longer than Valentine's, but you'll be able to get the link below. Thank you for watching. If there's anything that's resonated or anything you want to ask about anything I've discussed there, or do some other videos in this area, I will. Just put the comments below. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful week.